we are ready.
Yeah.
Good. Are you guys ready?
I need to think of.
Okay, so for our lighting design, as an overall concept, we got the running room and the staircase up until the fly tower. So we decided to go with Macbeth as this is a production that Sarah Laurence Olivier was in, and he's one of the key features in the whole of our section. So throughout the whole of our section, we have Macbeth being a running theme. These are some of the examples of lighting to use, like mixing in the blue with red, because blue is what's most commonly used backstage lighting, and obviously red is to do with Macbeth and how red's an underlying theme overall.
With the audience, when they go up the stairs, they will be hopefully be guided by an usher, who will simply just lead them up to the stairs while the audience listens to the scene on audio where Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are going up the stairs to kill Duncan, and it's different from the bottom of the stairs because we focus on Macbeth originally, and it basically just tells the whole story of Macbeth, just going in one simple circle. However, when going down the stairs, we will have eerie music to represent the ghost stories that are occurred at the Rep, and the only lighting that will be shown in while the audience are walking down the stairs will be the footprints on the steps so they know where they're going.
Okay, so for the running room, I was mainly in charge of this room. So we're going to have, in the archway of the running room, we're going to have some floodlights in dark blue lighting. Like I said before, it's commonly used backstage. And then obviously Macbeth is our underlying theme, so I'm going to have DSM calls because there is a setup that looks like a DSM desk. So pre-show calls, linking in with the orchestra pit that was before us. And then also there's going to be a props table that is set up in the style of what props might be used in Macbeth. So for example, using a crown, which is a common theme, and then also a props cage with some weaponry in. Again, because this is kind of a backstage tour for some people, it will just show how we have to handle weaponry in the theatre as well. All the lighting is static, and because the running room is technically part of the stage, it is also isolated along with the stage. So I can have haze running in, again giving that eerie kind of feel that we want throughout our whole piece. And this is kind of like one of the first areas looking into backstage is in going up the staircase, which is then when we get onto the mirror.
So one of the key features of our area is the mirror that Laurence Olivier supposedly requested. So what we want to do is really draw attention to that by having projection on the wall of Laurence Olivier appearing as though he's looking in the mirror, because I feel like that will really add to the kind of creepy and eerie vibe that we're going for with the Macbeth stuff, as like the projection will also reflect in the mirror and like really create for the audience that kind of atmosphere. So throughout the stairs we're using colour glass fixtures because they're so small. It will be easier for us to fit fixtures in because we have many limitations in our space. We're planning on bringing these around we've got windowsills that we're going to black out. We're going to put fixtures up there and on the floor to really get them out of the way so the audience have a clear path to go up. With the projection on the wall, I'm going to try and edit some kind of voiceover so that it really creates the atmosphere as though Laurence Olivier is there, and almost as though his kind of ghost is around the area. And what we really want to do is just add into the Macbeth style of it, so then as it goes up the wall, as it goes upstairs, the blue slowly goes into a more creepy vibe.
So the top of the stairs is going to be again Macbeth themed, and it links in with the DSM calls in the running room. The lighting is going to fade into red because it's an underlying theme in Macbeth. Also, we're going to have projection on the wall, of the top of the wall there, so you can't see it until you turn around and look behind you, of Lady Macbeth's monologue, and we're going to have a profile with the eyes projected onto the side of the stairs, so then that's like the witches watching them.
So main stage concept. So for the 1920s, the music that we chose to do was Singing in the Rain and the Green Hill Instrumental, which is also known as Charleston music. So we chose these two as we wanted one from a show that they did at the Old Rep, which is Singing in the Rain. And then also we wanted to include some music from that era just to give a contrasting vibe, as Singing in the Rain is quite a slow song, whereas Charleston is fairly more upbeat, and it just gives us more opportunity to do more with lighting.
When it comes to the 1920s, we will be using some blue black light on stage and a go-go with rain effects on alternative profiles, just so it can get the vibe of it's actually raining on stage without using actual water. And we've chosen blue as our main colour because blue is a very important colour in Singing in the Rain, as it's mostly the lighting that they used in the show. And we will have hints of yellow in it, so that's also the main colour, and also represents the street lamps that are on most of the sets during the show.
For the Green Hill instrumental, there'll be red and yellow colour scheme and upbeat movers, and potentially go-go's showing geometric patterns in the Hollywood style.
Okay, and then our other era we were given was the 1970s. So for this, we decided to choose Boogie Nights and Sir Duke Steve Wonder. So Boogie Nights we chose because of the show Boogie Nights that is set in the 1970s. It's not actually the track from the show, but we wanted to include the upbeat disco kind of music from the 70s so that we could stylize our lighting around this. And then Sir Duke Steve Wonder was also a very popular song in that era, so we just wanted to include that and include the kind of feel that it had.
Yeah, so in regards to lighting, I kind of wanted to create like contrast, so we're going to start off with like very dark with like white side lights to show the gothic side of the 70s, until it suddenly, when like the lyrics kick in, it just goes into full bright disco. So we're gonna have a glitter ball with like a colour scheme of pink, lime green, orange and blue, just to really bring out to the audience how like disco and just full insane kind of atmosphere. So using intelligent movers with gobos and just like lots of effects going on whilst like the music is really blasting out.
And then this is just our kind of general vibe that we're going for the 70s. So instead of, originally we wanted to go with the checkerboard kind of floor, but then we saw like these spiral patterns with the gobos, and we thought that'd be more achievable to do, and it would let us use intelligent lighting more rather than having static kind of just squares on the floor.
Well done, thanks guys. Has anyone got any questions, points, feedback? No? Yes, Ben?
I was just having a concern today, Daisy, about the space on the floor for the colour blast floodlights. Is
Yeah.
there enough space?
Because the windowsills are quite deep, and one of the issues we've got is because we're using static lights, because there's not enough space or like feasibility to have DMX going on, we're hoping just to get them back into the windowsill so that we can black it out. And also on some of the floor area there is enough space, because where it goes into like the different like stories, there is enough area. So we're going to definitely keep that in mind when we're putting fixtures in place.
I know when you guys did your a bit of like a site walk around last week as well, Dill pointed out that in terms of on the stairs there's not actually a lot of PowerPoints, so that might be something that you guys have to consider and think about if you need to bring extensions, if you need to bring things like that. And the color glass as well, I think I've already mentioned to you guys before, but it's they all run from a central ballast, and one ballast runs 6. So we do have a lot of warping cable, which is what those run, but you'll just have to make sure you sort of have enough cable to do the whole run.
Yeah, I think we're taking the power from the running room,
Yeah.
because that has actual things on it. Yeah.
Lovely. Anyone else got any points?
I have positives really. I liked that you chose to incorporate the DSM into your running room, because it kind of links into our group as well. I quite enjoyed how you included that in your thing. And I also think it might be a good idea to mention, is it Olivier?
Lawrence Olivier.
Yeah, it might be worth mentioning as well, like him with his awards as well, but he's come from,
Yeah.
he originated at the old rep maybe, and now he's like a successful man, but he's like inspiring awards still, maybe it might be something to mention.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else? No? Yeah, good job guys. I like that for the main stage you guys clearly have a lot of ideas already as well. And I think I can really clearly see your vision for the main stage, so